The exciting thing is actually the whole aquarium itself will be given away as part of the prize. It's in 4 weeks, in fact, so this has to be completely grown in, looking mature in 4 weeks' time. Hi everyone, George here, and I wanted to give you an insight into my latest home aquascape. This is an OASE Styleline 85, holds 75 litres. I've done a few aquascapes in these now, and this is the latest incarnation. Believe it or not, it's only been planted for a week, and I did create a step-by-step cinematic tutorial video for the Tropica Aquarium Plants YouTube channel. So I'll leave a link to that and you can see exactly how this basic layout was created. I have evolved it quite considerably over the last few days. Every day I've been doing a water change, a big water change, and that's to help prevent algae in a new tank. And yeah, I'm just really pleased with it. I'm really happy with the way it's growing in already. As you can see, we've almost got a full carpet here, and I will go through all the plants individually a bit later. But the reason behind this aquascape was actually to create it for the Tropica Aquarium Plants booth at a trade show here in the UK called Aqua Telford. And this is an aquatic trade show where different pond and aquarium manufacturers and suppliers get together and they show off all their latest products to the trades, to the retailers. It's a good networking event. It's a bit of a social event as well. They have like a dinner. It lasts a couple of days, and the individual brands have their own booths. So Tropica have their own booth. They like to show off their aquarium plants, of course, and so they're hiring me to set them up a scape in this OASE Styleline 85. So the pressure's on though, because this has to be, it's in 4 weeks, in fact. So this has to be completely grown in, looking mature in 4 weeks' time. So that's the reason it looks quite mature already. We've used a lot of kind of grown in epiphyte plants here. This is Microsorum Pteropus trident, good old trident fern, which many of you will have heard of course. Actually, a medium category plant, I would suggest. It's labelled as an easy category. It does thrive with higher lighting levels and also CO2 injection. But it is a beautiful plant. But to get the best kind of compact growth, where you get this distinctive trident leaf formation, you do need to give it good light and CO2 injection. This is interesting. This looks like a regular Java fern, doesn't it? But this is actually a smaller leaf variety called Green Gnome, and it's something that Tropica are considering bringing into production. So if I come back a bit, you can see it in a bit more, with a bit more sort of sense of scale. You can see it is more compact than the regular Java fern. In the background, we've got Myriophyllum mattegrossense. This is a fast-growing aquatic weed, very, very fast. Great for the early stages of an aquascape's life when algae is really likely. You want to plant with fast growers to help prevent that algae. So that's one of the reasons I'm liking that in here right now. We do have other stem plants. This might not be the long-term plant because it doesn't look so tidy, in my opinion. But we do have some other stem plants. Let's see if we can get them for you. Here you can see in the center of the screen, this is Myriophyllum guyana, and this was planted as they want to grow in the Tropica tissue culture. So it's grown considerably in a week. It was tiny when I first put it in there, and it's probably quadrupled in size. So the right there, you might just be able to see the Rotala. We've got a mixture of Rotala HR and the Rotala rotundifolia green. So the idea is that these stems will eventually grow above this stone and fill up this space here. Let's go a bit wider angle for you. So yeah, the idea is that the stems will grow up, fill this space here. I don't know if we're going to get there in 4 weeks or not, but it's worth a try. But I can either enhance this triangular effect, or depending on how tall they grow, we could actually go for maybe a concave layout here like this, so the stems could be trimmed in this direction and then in this direction too. So yeah, a couple of options there. But I think it looks great already. You know, it's definitely got potential to look a nice mature aquascape for the show. The exciting thing is actually the whole aquarium itself will be given away as part of a prize. So the visitors to the show can fill out a questionnaire. There's 3 kind of quiz questions for them, which is to do with aquascaping, and yeah, the lucky winner will get to take this whole aquarium back to their shop with them. Unfortunately, Aquatelfid is trade only, so it isn't open to hobbyists at the moment. I would like to see a consumer show in the UK. There has been a couple over the years. We had Aquatics Live in I think 2011, 2012, and then we had UCAPS actually had an event called the Aquascaping Experience. That was in 2016. There's been a couple of smaller events. There used to be the Festival of Fish Keeping. I don't think that's going ahead anymore. I used to go to that with UCAPS back in 2008 for a few years onwards from that to 2011, 12, yeah. So, but yeah, unfortunately at the moment in the UK there are no significant consumer shows. In the US we do have Aquashella, which I'm hoping to attend in Dallas at the end of October, so that's really exciting. So let me know in the comments if anyone's going to Aquashella in Dallas at the end of October. I'm actually hoping to visit my friends at Aquarium Design Group, Mike and Jeff Senske, as well, because they're in Texas, so I'd love to meet up with those guys and see their beautiful store and the beautiful aquariums as well. Long-term viewers of the channel may have seen some content I created from those guys a couple of years ago during my last visit to the States. So excited, hopefully, to go over there again. I'm digressing, aren't I? Getting into a good old ramble there. Let's go back to the plants. So let's go through each of the plants and we'll talk a bit more detail about them, because I think we can maybe all learn something. So the foreground is actually quite a complex mix of species. I've got the main carpeting plant here is the Eleocharis acicularis mini, and this is the Tropica 1-2 grow, and I think I've only used 3 or 4 pots in here altogether, but I've split them up into lots of smaller portions, and that gives you more economical coverage. You might just be able to make out a couple of random sprigs of the Staurogyne repens here and here. This is a lovely plant. I love using this as a transitional plant from between the low foreground carpeting plant and the stone. It just makes it look more natural. And moving over to the right, and you might just be able to see some Hygrophila Araguaia, Hygrophila lancea Araguaia. This is Tropica 1-2 grow. And then behind that we have some Blyxa japonica and more Blyxa japonica there, which is starting to go red on the tips, which looks amazing, I think. Here we've got some Cryptocoryne Mi Oya. This is Tropica limited edition 1-2 grow. Anubias Petite, some more Blyxa japonica. So this is interesting. This is Tropica 1-2 grow, the Blyxa japonica. And this is actually a stem plant, and it will grow quite, it will grow taller, and it fills out quite a lot of space, so that will need keeping in check. But the idea, I deliberately wanted to go for something relatively fast growing and filling up a lot of volume quite quickly, because we wanted to get this mature scape quite quickly. So that's the Blyxa japonica, the crypts. I also have planted, you can just see it here. Let's get a bit closer. You see those leaf blades against the rock? That is actually just here. That is actually Eriocaulon Vietnam, which again might be a plant that Tropica will produce in the long term, hopefully. So the stem plant we talked about in the back, the Myriophyllum mattegrossense, fast growing weed. We talked about the Green Gnome Java fern. good old cherry shrimps in here. Love these guys. I've got these in all my tanks, even in the discus tank. I've got cherry shrimp and they're breeding. They breed in all my tanks. They seem to like the hard water, I think. And they do well in CO2 injected tanks as well, I find. And yeah, the wood is just a generic driftwood. I can't remember the name. Some more Anubias Petite there. Some Bucephalandra Kedagang. Beautiful plant. Oh, there is a couple of little sprigs of, if you look at the bottom of the screen there, we've got some Marsilea crenata. So we've got 5 or 6 different foreground species all mixed together to try and make a coherent yet naturalistic layout. CO2, got quite a lot of CO2 going on in there, probably 2 or 3 bubbles a second. The livestock are fine though. I was wondering if it was going to be too high a CO2 level, but they're all feeding, they're all very active. No problem there with the high CO2 levels. I'm running quite a lot of surface agitation. I am using a BioMaster 350 Thermo. Let's go inside the cabinet. It's not too, it's quite tidy. So we've got, this is what I feed every day, Tropica Specialised nutrition for the plants. At the moment I am doing daily water changes and 8 squirts of that, believe it or not, every day, and that's to get the super fast growth. Organix, this is great fish food. The fish absolutely love this, colour enhancing flake, organic. BioMaster 350 Thermo, which is quite a big filter for this tank, but I'm a big fan of good levels of circulation. Just some bleach there for when I clean out the diffuser. CO2 is via the Green Leaf Aquarium reg here with a dual manifold. This goes to this tank and this one goes to this tank. This is a work in progress. I have the lights on here. Let me show you the lights actually. There's actually 4 tubes in here and they're on for 12 hours a day, 8 watts each. And the CO2 comes on about an hour before the lights come on. And then the CO2 comes off just before the lights go off. So the CO2, you know, the plants are only using their CO2 whilst the lights are on. 12 hours is too much photo period usually for most situations, but because I'm doing the daily water changes, that kind of mitigates any risk of algae in combination with all the fast plant growth, the high CO2 levels. Lots of cherry shrimp as well to help keep down background levels of algae. There is a couple of nearite snails in there as well, which will help keep hopefully the rocks clean. That's it really. I just thought I'd give you a quick one take wonder of my OASE Styleline 85 aquarium. A bit of a story behind it, why I'm setting it up. It's going to go to Aqua Telford, all mature. Maybe I'll do an update video when I take it there. Maybe I even do a video of how I take a mature aquascape to a location. So it's a good 2-hour drive. So I can show you how I can, hopefully transport safely a mature setup, take it to a show, set it up and make it look almost exactly how it does at home at a show. Maybe that would be interesting for folk to see. And maybe a bit of a background at a trade show. I won't be there for the actual show probably, but I'll be there for the setup. And I'm sure I'll be scaping some other tanks and seeing some other stuff that's going on there as well, so I can share that with you guys. Okay, take care, keep on scaping. Cheerio.